So good morning, good day, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to today's webcast, Unlocking the Full Potential of Oracle GoldenGate, Real-Time Data for All. For those of you not yet acquainted with GoldenGate, GoldenGate is a unique family of event and streaming data solutions that move across Oracle and non-Oracle technologies. And for those of you already using GoldenGate, we hope that our time together today will help you realize that you can bring real-time data integration to even more use cases, leveraging the GoldenGate skills that you already have. I think that we all know that the demand for real-time information has never been greater. Now, we're concerned with keeping our AI models up to date, enabling data consumers to have access to up-to-date data, and also designing event-driven applications on top of our ever-changing data stores. So what we hope you'll learn today is the GoldenGate story and its ability to do real-time data integration across any data store and any cloud. So for today's speakers, today's time is going to fly by due to our great speakers. Let me first introduce Pradeep Duseja. Pradeep is a principal engineer in the store operations group at Starbucks. He's responsible for the architecture and implementation for the data architecture and data integration for a high-volume, multi-cloud, multi-data store, real-time application, and data warehouse. Welcome, Pradeep. Also joining us is Pete Enzana. Pete is a director in GoldenGate product management, and he's spent his 20-year career across the field of data integration, replication, and governance, spending tons of time with our customers, partners, and analysts. I hope you will enjoy his coverage of today's material. Welcome, Pete.
Thanks, Peter.
And as for me, I'm a senior director in product marketing, looking after the Oracle database and Oracle data integration, the core parts of the Oracle Modern Data Platform. I've spent 35 years at Oracle building and marketing applications, technologies, and cloud services. So let's get started. Today's agenda, we have a very simple agenda today. First, we'll discuss how the retail industry depends upon real-time information and how the GoldenGate product family fits in. Second, Pradeep will discuss Starbucks' business challenges and their GoldenGate solution. And third, Pete will share GoldenGate's recent releases of new features and the upcoming roadmap. And at the end, we'll answer any remaining questions. And we want to encourage all of our listeners to use the questions button throughout the webcast, and we will answer your questions as we go along and also at the end. Okay, Peter, over to you.
Thanks so much, Peter, and thanks everyone for joining. While a lot of this content we'll be presenting today is specific to the retail industry, please don't think that it's only applicable to that. This is real-time data, why you need it, how you can implement that, and how you can make real-time use of that data. And that's so important to any vertical industry. And it's not just about making better, faster business decisions and actions in real time. It's a way of modernizing your data estate, taking advantage of data mesh architectures and components and product thinking approaches that marry together your operational and analytical side of the house. I'm sure you're all aware of how you could make better use of data in real time specific to your own company. We're going to explain to you how other companies have used GoldenGate to enable that. These are customers like you who have started out using GoldenGate for the operational side of the house, perhaps for high availability. But when married together with the analytics side of the house, everyone's making better and faster business decisions and actions in real time. And there's multiple benefits to that. And it is an achievable goal. It's not just pie in the sky. With Oracle technology, you can build an event-driven integration architecture, really a data mesh / data fabric that marries together your operational and analytical side of the house. Whether you want to automate your business operations with application to application type integration, we have an OIC technology that really enables that. For integrating a sales order perhaps on your ERP system and marrying that together with Salesforce.com and other downstream applications in real time. for data event generation and replicating data point to point, whether it's from a database to a database or a database to Hadoop, to an object store, to Kafka, a data lakehouse or a data warehouse in the cloud. We have GoldenGate technology that does that in real time with guaranteed delivery, regardless of what the sources and targets are. And then we have stream analytics technology that augments that capability and allows you to analyze that data as it's in motion, really enable and execute a richer series of transformations on that data as it's in flight, so you could learn from that and reroute from it, send different formats to different endpoints, and produce dashboards of what's going on in your enterprise in real time. So from an event-driven data integration perspective, we have the technology at Oracle to achieve that. And while a lot of you are familiar at some level with GoldenGate and leveraging that most likely for homogeneous Oracle to Oracle high availability, there's more you can do with it than just that. Oracle supports a very expanding heterogeneous world of sources and targets. We'll talk about that. So same exact uses, same exact high availability or heterogeneous use cases, same performance, same degree of integration with these sources and targets, same ease of use you can achieve with a heterogeneous mix of sources and targets with GoldenGate. And you can move beyond just data replication and change data capture that you see in this upper left-hand quadrant. More and more of our customers are extending beyond that, capturing once from their mission-critical OLTP systems and proliferating that data to a myriad of heterogeneous targets. And while you're doing that, you could build CTL pipelines to route that data and enrich that data as it's in flight. We at GoldenGate, we call these CTL pipelines continuous transform and load as opposed to ETL pipelines. To us, ETL implies batch and scheduled workloads, those that which will tax your OLTP source systems, and we know that's a no-no. You in the retail business and financial services and healthcare and many others, you know you can't afford to tax these mission-critical OLTP source systems during the day. You can't do a select star from table to pull down all that data, to transform all that data, and apply all that data downstream. A CDC approach is much more optimized and modern because you're only moving, you're capturing the change data from transaction logs, first of all. So that spares your OLTP system's processing power. Then you're only moving that change data, you're only transforming that change data, and you're only applying that change data downstream. So that's going to save network bandwidth, midstream and downstream processing, while allowing you to make real-time decisions. There's no better way to do that than this change data capture data replication. But within a CTL pipeline, you can add an even richer set of transformations beyond those row-level SQL transformations you can do with just the GoldenGate technology. So within various ways, you can acquire the stream analytics technology, whether it's through GoldenGate for distributed applications and analytics license, or a standalone license for stream analytics, applying that to the change data you've captured from Oracle already. Again, capture once and just only once and apply it to multiple targets, or you can actually be sourcing data from JMS and Kafka to feed these streaming analytical pipelines and output that change data and enrich data where you'd like it and with any format you'd like. And then there's also governance you can achieve with GoldenGate, and we'll talk about that more specifically within the Veridata product that we have. And that technology will allow you to check synchronization between sources and targets and do a compare and repair capability via SQL to those sources and targets. So again, GoldenGate is very heterogeneous. This NASCAR slide of logos we provide for you also has links down bottom, as many of these slides do. And with that, when you get these slides, you'll be able to drill down deeper into our certification matrices, which really show all the thousands of combinations that we support in terms of sources and targets. This list is ever expanding. We have not only deep partnerships, but environments for all of these technologies. Whatever you see listed on the left is a source that's supported by GoldenGate and native optimized change data capture interfaces that do not impact those OLTP systems. And then the ever expanding list of targets you see on the right. So new ones you might see there that you weren't aware of before. Things like Redis and Single Store have recently been added. So it's a wide, very diverse topology that we support. And hopefully you see something there that you're not using GoldenGate for. And obviously, you can expand that usage and achieve that same high degree of resilience, performance, and affinity with those sources and targets that you're experiencing today with GoldenGate for Oracle. And it's not just third-party sources and targets that we're ever expanding on in terms of support and what's certified and what's documented. And what we do there, we only certify what has been deeply QA tested successfully and fully documented. And beyond those sources and targets, it's third-party hyperscaler clouds. And a lot of this documentation and certification, besides ours, is augmented by these hyperscalers themselves. So we have customers running GoldenGate, usually on a wide array, a mixed bag of on-premises as well as in multiple clouds. And that's unique to our capabilities. And again, you can extend that use of GoldenGate for database to database to feed, to do high-speed optimized ingest into your big data targets. You're already using GoldenGate to keep your mission-critical OLTP systems up and running and to meet your business continuity requirements. But while you've captured that change data, why not propagate it to multiple back-end and systems for doing your analytics in real time and your reporting in real time? And for that, we have a product that had been called GoldenGate for Big Data. The name's been changed for multiple reasons, and we'll get into that. We basically added more functionality to this. The same pricing model, same licensing concepts, but we've just thrown more into this big bundle. So this big bundle today, GoldenGate for Distributed Applications and Analytics, it provides you an unlimited amount of targeting for any of these supported targets. So any name, size, or number of these supported targets, you have rights to feed that change data captured to. On top of that, this big bundle provides capture agents for NoSQL stores, things like Apache Kafka, or really any flavor of Kafka, Confluent Cloud, AWS Kinesis, Azure Event Hub, Google PubSub, as well as MongoDB and Atlas variants, as well as Cassandra and the DataStax variants. So you have JMS and Kafka and NoSQL sourcing combined with an endless array, really, of big data targets that you could feed without going back to the well and licensing more. And you also get that stream analytics capability bundled in within this what had been called Big Data product. Now it's called GoldenGate for Distributed Applications and Analytics. And for those of you who don't want to take advantage of that stream analytics capability yet, or they don't need those NoSQL captures, or you have just a specific big data target that you'd like to feed, for that we have this newer a la carte offering called GoldenGate for Big Data Targets. So it's a limited in functionality in that you have to choose a single named target to which you're feeding this change data, but it comes at a much lower price than that big bundle, GoldenGate for Distributed Applications and Analytics. And to drill down a little bit more into the stream analytics capability, again, this is event-driven, like all of our real-time event-driven data integration products. With this, you can apply a much richer set of transformations than just GoldenGate on its own, which again are just row-level SQL transformations, changing data types and the like. With this, you can do your aggregation, sorts, joins, lookups, geospatial and time series fencing. You can detect patterns in that data as it's in flight. You could route it to different destinations. You could build dashboards, and there's really no end. You're only limited by your imagination in terms of the data products that your OLTP side, those who own your applications on that OLTP side of the house. With technology like GoldenGate, they can output data products that are self-service for your data scientists, your line of business, your analytics consumers, to take advantage of, whether it's loyalty systems, proximity marketing, next best action in real time. There's a lot of really nice applications that customers have built with this across all verticals. An example that I give, and we'll get into some others, is as a cell phone company here in the United States. They had been using GoldenGate for a number of years just for high availability for Oracle databases. They acquired GoldenGate for big data to feed Kafka, but within that, they had the stream analytics technology, and they have built an application now so that whenever a cell phone is purchased, whether at a mall, kiosk in a mall, major store, or online, as that data is being routed to their enterprise data warehouse within their headquarters, that's being flowed through GoldenGate plumbing. Before it even reaches that EDW, through this application, through Stream Analytics, they're sending out email and text offers to those customers for accessories to the specific phone that they just bought. They're leveraging geospatial fencing within that, doing lookups in terms of finding the exact model number and type to foster this application. So they're doing e-business in real time without a human being involved. Before that data even hits the EDW, they're sending out offers. It's next best offer type of approach. And the GoldenGate technology, regardless of what that source and target are, we support a wide array of topologies. It's not just unidirectional. Obviously, we also support bidirectional with ACDR, or automatic collision detection and resolution. We have fan outs, we have one-to-manys, many-to-one type topology supported. And this isn't just on premises. Again, we've polled our customers during multiple events, and customers are typically deploying GoldenGate on premises and in a combination of two clouds. So you can do true hybrid data integration in real time with the GoldenGate technology, whether it's cloud to cloud or ground to cloud ingest, a migration from one data center to another. There's really no end to that. So a lot of capabilities that you can unlock to take better advantage of your GoldenGate technology. And I'll run through a few quick high-level major use cases here before handing off to Pradeep. Operational integration is really mission critical to all of your retail and any verticals, really. Here we're talking about business continuity, and this is where GoldenGate is really specialized for providing that active architecture. It's really only by employing GoldenGate on top of active Data Guard, by augmenting what Data Guard provides in terms of physical synchronous replication, by augmenting that with GoldenGate's asynchronous logical data replication, allows you to span wider distances, even across cloud regions for high availability. It allows you to achieve the 5 nines or platinum level of the maximum availability architecture. And it also allows you to have that active full use backup that's read-write. And it's our ACDR, or again, that automatic conflict detection and resolution, that really enables this. And we're making this even easier, as you'll hear about in the roadmap portion of our presentation later today. And then we've been talking about this, but why not talk about a few more customer cases like Pradeep's? And this is to use GoldenGate for enabling analytics in real time. What good is doing analytics on old, stale data? And do you really have that opportunity for batch windows? I think most of your businesses are 24/7 now. There's not much opportunity to shut down or close down these applications for their OLTP. So instead, capture that change data in real time, incrementally, and on an event-driven basis. Push that operational data into any of your analytics stores to make better business decisions and actions in real time. And nothing will perform that as fast or as well as GoldenGate. We have customers churning through over 10 terabytes of Oracle redo log a day and feeding that into analytical targets. No one does it faster or with guaranteed delivery better than GoldenGate. And then migrations. This might have been your first foray, or you might not have tried GoldenGate for a zero downtime, zero data loss migration. Here too is where that bidirectionality really is important. So you have that flexibility to cut over to the new system when you're comfortable in doing so. Or in the interim, you can have GoldenGate replicating bidirectionally to keep the old and the new system in sync. And we have many public reference use cases for this as well. And then to achieve a data mesh, a distributed architecture. Haven't talked yet much about the microservices architecture. We'll save that for the back half of this presentation. But to achieve a data mesh, GoldenGate is critical, where each and every one of our components in GoldenGate, from the replicats to the extracts, to the receiver service, to the distribution service, for all the monitoring, everything is 100% REST API enabled. It allows you to isolate workloads and distribute data and synchronize it across a multi-cloud environment. And a lot of times data mesh will include things like Kafka for distributing that data, taking advantage of Kafka's capabilities in that regard to distribute data and to persist it. Most of the biggest companies using Kafka today are using GoldenGate to feed, to pump change data from databases into Kafka for them. There's no better Kafka connector. And where Kafka was connected was in LinkedIn, and they're still one of the biggest users of Kafka in the world today. And yeah, they use GoldenGate to feed that change data into Kafka. So again, it's across a wide hybrid estate that GoldenGate can synchronize your change data. Keep your mission critical systems and analytical systems synchronized. Keep your OLTP systems up and running while propagating that change data to your data consumers as they need it in the formats they like in the time that they need to do it. So it's a unique offering and approach that we have. We have OCI GoldenGate, a fully native, fully managed cloud service. And that's elastic. That'll scale up and down according to your workloads, and you only pay for what you need. We can do cross-region synchronization, and we can do that combination of the operational analytic. There's no better way to achieve that. And with that, you don't have to take my word from it. You can take all the analysts' word about this. It's not just in data integration where GoldenGate exceeds in these analyst reports. But we have been 15 years in a row now a leader in Gartner's Data Integration Magic Quadrant. This year, they called out our leadership for streaming and data replication, and they call out our differentiation for investing in our on-premise technologies, not just in the cloud. But we also get high marks from the analysts in outside of data integration for things like data fabric and stream analytics. So again, it's a myriad of use cases that you can leverage GoldenGate for. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Pradeep so we can learn a little bit more about Starbucks use case.
Thank you, Pete. Good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. Real-time data is no more a nice to have requirements in today's data focused world, but it's a necessity. And today we are going to see how we achieved it at Starbucks with GoldenGate. Something about me. I'm Pradeep Duseja, principal engineer at Starbucks, dedicated to delivering innovative solution while creating the technical roadmap and fostering collaboration across the organization. I work in Global Store Development Group, who is responsible to design and develop the systems which are useful to build and run these Starbucks stores across the globe. We have a variety of applications in our ecosystem, including ERPs, SaaS solutions, and custom applications. And all of these suites need data. So from ERP's perspective, they are really good to run the business flows and executing the business task very well. But the same thing, they are not very good at data integration with the modern and scalable systems. And that's where we found some challenges from our business. We wanted to enable the self-service ticket creation for our 10,000 stores in North America. Earlier, it used to take around 10 to 15 minutes to log a service request from stores to our facilities data centers. But we have a requirement to make it in a few seconds or few minutes with a self-service application. And that's where we need the real-time data integrations. Not only this, for the reporting and analytics purposes, we need the real-time data so that we can report as soon as anything happens in our store or any business decision need to be taken swiftly. The primary challenges we faced in our domain is regarding ERPs. Since they are built for the smooth business operations, their data model is complex and very native to the applications. We have a large data volume considering the volume of our stores and the transactions. We have tens of terabytes of data, and the data model is complex with thousands of tables. Each table may have hundreds of millions of records. And from system limitation perspective, they are built for the business operations, so not very good at integrating with modern data and other analytics systems. To solve these primary challenges, we have to replicate the data outside of our ERP systems. And for that, we use GoldenGate. In our solution overview, I'm going to cover how we have achieved it with minimal disruption to our systems. On the left-hand side, we have our 19C Oracle database, part of our ERP, which have thousands of tables with terabytes of data. With GoldenGate, we used CDC to replicate the data to our staging server on-premise. And while doing that, we reduced the data volume, and as well as we remodel the data, whatever is feasible while using the GoldenGate from Oracle to Oracle replication. Once the data landed in a very short format, then we used GoldenGate for big data. And as mentioned by Pete, this uses the streaming. And with Kafka protocol, we moved our any changes happening in our ERP from staging server to Azure Event Hub. Once the data in Azure Event Hub, we used our Azure Compute so that we can move this data and change its data model in our storage. We stored the data in SQL Server as well as Azure Data Lake storage, and we exposed it as an API and reporting and analytics services. When we try to expose our API or use the data integration from Oracle database, then it used to take 5 seconds to run a query. But with this reduced data volume and optimized data model, it reduced down to few milliseconds. While doing this entire architecture, we also deployed our monitoring needs, and GoldenGate is really great in those aspects as well. When data is in Microsoft Azure, then we have unlimited capacity there. We can scale the data and we can increase the throughput as we move forward. When we achieved this architecture, it drove a great business success. We modernized our data integrations without disrupting existing systems. We also improved our efficiency by lowering down response time, moving from seconds to milliseconds. And it provided the optimized performance and throughput while minimizing our data footprint. Today, our systems are making around 500,000 calls per day, and as well as providing the real-time data needs for our reporting and analytics needs. This is about our use case where we used GoldenGate for big data, as well as GoldenGate from Oracle to Oracle application, so to solve our use cases. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to showcase our use case. Over to you, Pete.
Thanks, Pradeep. Okay, folks, to move ahead in today's presentation, we'll talk about our roadmap, and as usual, here's the caveat slide that precedes that. First, let's talk about what's been recently delivered for GoldenGate. This is a living, breathing, very active and differentiated roadmap, and this is something Gartner gave us high points for. There's no other data integration vendor in the world today that dedicates as much investment into our on-premises offerings as well as the cloud. Some common themes you'll see here in our common regular releases is alignment with the Oracle database, of course, but ever-expanding heterogeneity, release after release, improved UI, an easier expanded user experience, as well as improved performance and security each release year after year. Some highlights of things that were recently delivered. Within our OCI GoldenGate, our fully managed native cloud service that you pay just for the compute for OCPUs. We've added more than 40 new sources and targets supported within that. We have Stream Analytics is an implementation, is a deployment model within OCI GoldenGate as well. And we've expanded what we support for these real-time migrations with MongoDB sources and targets as well. And that's just in the cloud. On-prem, we had launched a beta program for GoldenGate 23C. We have that GoldenGate for Big Data Targets a la carte offering that we mentioned, as well as that distributed applications and analytics. It's more than just the new name of that GoldenGate for Big Data product. We've added capabilities and we'll be adding more. And that's what we'll be talking about in the upcoming slides. And we released the second edition of GoldenGate Free as well. Now, this is really integrated and aligned with the 23C database as well. So if you're going to use GoldenGate 23C Free edition, make sure you're using that in conjunction with the Oracle Database 23 beta, because all the features and capabilities that we've introduced in the new GoldenGate Free are really exploiting the new capabilities in what's coming in the Oracle Database 23C. And we've also added, beyond the unidirectional recipe, we've added a bidirectional recipe, because remember, in GoldenGate Free, that's where we're releasing the new iterations of where we're taking the GoldenGate UI to be a much more top-down, recipe-based point-and-click experience for you. So what else have we added to GoldenGate for distributed analytics and applications and analytics? So this was GoldenGate for Big Data. You still get all that stream analytics with it, the unlimited types and sizes and numbers of supported GoldenGate for Big Data targets. Plus, you get that capability to capture or from things like JMS and Kafka and MongoDB and Cassandra, but we've added this Microservices TX offering. What this is, it's a tool to better enable your own applications. Those applications that your developers might have written, microservices applications that have been integrating with one database, whether they're written in PL SQL, in Java, in COBOL, in C, C++, you might have some of your own homegrown applications that you would like to integrate and span across multiple database target systems. This will provide you that transaction management for doing so. Even if it's across a complex topology where you need a two-phase commit or a unit of work across all of those, an all or nothing, or you can have Saga or long-running transactions as well. So this is a tool for your developers to take advantage of. And for any of these features that are up and coming, if you want to drill down into any of this, reach out to your Oracle account team, and we can have the product managers give you a deep dive into these. Also, before we go too much further within our roadmap, we hope and expect to release the 23C version of GoldenGate this calendar year, sometime around mid-year, somewhat directly following the release of the 23C database. But an important thing to note here is to take advantage of the links on bottom for the support policies and such. But it's the GoldenGate microservices architecture that's going to remain going forward. Up until now, we've had the classic and microservices architecture in GoldenGate. But now come 23C, that classic architecture has been removed. In 19 and 21C, that classic architecture had been deprecated, meaning it's there, it's supported, you can file SRs against it and so forth, but we've only been really investing new development within the microservices architecture. So for your upgrade path, we do have a utility, an automated utility to help you migrate from that classic to microservices architecture. But in doing so, you can't jump directly from anything before 19C to 23C. So you'll follow this path accordingly. And at a high level, we announced a lot of things at the last Cloud World in Las Vegas in fall. And some things we've already delivered upon, like that 23C version I mentioned, that's available now. GoldenGate for distributed applications and analytics is available now. We've made multiple updates to the OCI, that fully managed native cloud service. So a lot of things we have delivered upon. So let's dive a bit into what we haven't yet and what's coming in the next months. At a high level, you see a list here, but for the sake of time and preserve some for Q&A, I'm just going to start diving into these individually. So we talked about the 5 nines of availability, that platinum level of availability, the active architecture, and using GoldenGate for a worldwide distributed high availability of data for that business continuity, active type of architecture. Well, for that today, we have about a 75-page manual, and a lot of the 84% of the Fortune 1000 are using GoldenGate for Oracle, and a large portion of those are using it for that kind of mission-critical business continuity. We're going to make that a lot easier. We're automating a lot of those processes, so that 75-page manual is going to be cut in half. So the cutovers, we're making it a lot easier. We have a hot standby node, so we'll be able to alleviate that need, that dependency for the file systems. We're taking that away as well. So it's a more intuitive look, an easier way to achieve that high availability across the board with GoldenGate. So again, if you want to learn more about this, reach out to your account teams and ask for a one-on-one, a private consult from your GoldenGate product management team. Another thing we're improving is the observability, the metrics, the metrics that we're capturing, the points at which we're capturing metrics from is expanding, and we've integrated all this with StatsD and Telegraph. So our microservices architecture and all its REST-based APIs, this is really enabling you to build a richer, more elaborate set of real-time dashboards into all your GoldenGate monitoring, whether it's what's up and running, your performance modules, and so forth. There's a lot more observability that you'll be able to achieve, as well as in combined usage with the OEM plugin. And this roadmap item is specific to Stream Analytics. Today, from an AI and ML component, GoldenGate Stream Analytics supports outputting that Onyx format. So we can feed real-time data from your mission-critical OLTP systems into third-party database vector embeddings, but in concert with the Oracle 23C.4 database, which is adding vector embeddings to that, we have an even tighter affinity and deeper integration. So again, this will allow you to expand upon your large language model processing, extending beyond just that cached internet of data to apply your own enterprise data for RAG processing as well. And again, just like for analytics, you want to use your latest and most important enterprise data to make business decisions and do analytics in real time. The same should be for AI. So built into Stream Analytics, we're going to have this capability to pump that change data into the Oracle DB's vector embeddings. And something else that's being added to that GoldenGate for distributed applications and analytics big bundle, again, is this GoldenGate data event streams. With this model, we're embracing the async API. So anything that you're using that supports such integration with the async API, we're going to output database events, DML and DDL, those raw database events, inserts, updates, deletes, all that rich metadata, before and after SQL images and so forth, we're going to expose that as at first just JSON formatted. We'll extend it beyond then to Avro and others, but you can link in what you have. You might have a Jupyter notebook where you're programming in Python directly plugged in to this async API. So it avoids that need to distribute the change data via Kafka. You can directly be interfacing with these database events as they happen. And again, this will be included within the GoldenGate for distributed applications and analytics offering. And the GoldenGate fully managed native cloud service, it's been heterogeneous for a while now. And what you see furthest on the left here are all the sources that we support for real-time CDC replication. What you see in this middle column is what we support within OCI GoldenGate for real-time heterogeneous replication targets. What we're adding almost in real time, it's pending and it should be available hopefully this week, if not the next, are these data transforms. These are batch and bulk connectors and capabilities for a wider array of sources and targets that GoldenGate supports today. So within that same paradigm, with paying with universal cloud credits, you can acquire GoldenGate, OCI GoldenGate. You can have deployments for Oracle databases, non-Oracle sources and targets, big data sources and targets. But even if you were to have application type sources and targets that you want to integrate at the API level, or just for batch and bulk connectivity to destinations that GoldenGate wouldn't otherwise have, this is a way to take advantage of that. So take a look at OCI GoldenGate. There's links at the end of this that Peter Heller will talk about, to live labs as well, and to access the latest and greatest versions to try on your own. And then Veridata 23C. We've rebuilt this from the ground up. We've taken away dependencies in this as well. So there's no more app server needed within this. It's a microservices backend built in Helidon. And instead of a thick client on the front end, this is now a real lightweight. It's a browser-based UI. So it's been rebuilt from the ground up to performance. Is exemplary. So we urge you to give a try to Veridata 23C to really check the synchronization between sources and targets and take advantage of that compare and repair utility that's built into it. And you can use Veridata on sources and targets that aren't even populated by GoldenGate. It could be a homegrown or third-party ETL tool or what have you. Veridata can still be used across the board for those. So to reiterate at a real high level, GoldenGate can do a lot of things for you. It goes really beyond just HA and DR for your Oracle databases, although it is great for that. But even if you're migrating, upgrading across database versions that are on different platforms, migrating from ground to cloud, GoldenGate's an amazing tool for that with its bidirectional replication capabilities. And you can do event-based data integration with this GoldenGate offerings, where it's not a select star from table on Sunday nights now. It's real time. As these events happen on a source, GoldenGate will replay these transactions on the target and on any target. It's not just the database target. It's Kafka, it's cloud storage, it's data lakes and data warehouses that we can feed that change data to. And by taking advantage of the stream analytics technology, you can learn from that data as it's in motion. A lot more that you can do with your GoldenGate than you have today. And that's really how our top customers get the best ROI on GoldenGate. So there's operational outcomes that you can achieve with GoldenGate, like that business continuity, like upgrades, like migrations, or perhaps it's query balancing, because we know that you don't want to impact those OLTP sources. So you have operational outcomes, but the analytical outcomes are really exponential. Doing real-time integration, event-driven integration, so you know your inventory at any given time, like Pradeep shared throughout his Starbucks application. So you're making better, smarter business decisions in real time. It's an enabler that you can't beat. So with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Peter Heller to wrap things up and take us into QA.
All right, great. Thanks, Pete, and thanks, Pradeep. There's so much in the GoldenGate family. If you look on the right, I was just trying to create an interesting picture that talked about all the various components of GoldenGate, and I haven't named them there, but those are all the major products and capabilities that the entire family has. So there's a lot to learn about GoldenGate, and I wanted to point you to a few things here that really will give you greater insight and help maybe even give you some great ideas for more use cases. So the first item here really is an ebook that's focused on the retail industry. This is really a great piece of work. It shows the opportunities, the principles, and the architectures for creating a real-time data fabric, and of which GoldenGate is an essential part. GoldenGate is a unique solution in capturing data. There are, other kinds of technologies that try to connect and do change data capture, but this technical brief is a great effort by us to really describe what makes GoldenGate unique, and it should be a really fundamental part of any buying or implementation consideration. The third item here is GoldenGate product management, the product management team, regularly publishes how-tos and the news across the entire GoldenGate product line. And I really want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. And for the data engineers among you, you can try GoldenGate for free. We talked about that a little bit. You can do it on your laptop. You can do it in any cloud. And you can also, of course, do it in Oracle's cloud. There are 42 GoldenGate hands-on labs on oracle.com. It's really a remarkable number. It's a testament to the abundance of our use cases and also a lot of the various customer implementations that we got a lot of ideas from. And lastly, you can also access Gartner's Data Integration Tools report, and we provide a link here, where they ranked us #1 in operational data integration. Okay. So in closing, the next, if you already haven't asked a few more questions, we've kind of done a great job answering the questions as we've gone along here. But I just wanted to, encourage you again to ask some remaining questions before we finish off. But before we have that little Q&A, I wanted to thank you for spending the time with us today. We hope that you learned a ton and you see that GoldenGate is a solution for a myriad of use cases and possibilities. You'll get an email soon that will allow you to download this presentation and also share it with the recording with your colleagues. I also want to thank Pradeep for sharing his implementation story with us. Thank you very much, Pradeep.